My first introduction to the greater inland Northwest of eastern Washington and Montana came through a book I read as a child, A River Runs Through It by Norman Maclean. The book is set in Missoula, Montana, and is filled with fly fishing, lessons of the divine, and the wisdom of the river. These same waters connect us. The Blackfoot and Bitterroot rivers merge with the Clark Fork. The Clark Fork flows into the Pend Oreille, and the Pend Oreille connects with the Columbia River. The Columbia stretches across Washington from its north to its south. These rivers contain stories of an ancient flood that helped carve them, as well as of the indigenous people who were first on this land. The rivers flow west and empty into a body of water that contains my origin story. Floating on the Pacific Ocean in a boat is an 11-year-old Chinese boy who has just left his home and parents. He knows no English, but is still rehearsing what he will say when he gets to Angel Island in the Bay Area. He must remember to share with no one that he is a Tong, but rather use the surname Young, the name of an unfamiliar family who have sold their son's identity and paperwork so this boy can come to the United States. Here, he would establish a new life, fight in World War II, get married, have 5 children, one of which I call Mom. From my grandfather, my mother inherited a rich Chinese identity filled with family values and a Buddhist Taoist spirituality. This would intersect with my father's Irish Catholic roots, a meeting of the East and the West, a yin and yang relationship, 2 rivers merging into one. Eventually, my parents would journey upstream from the coast to eastern Washington and Montana, where I live today. A journey the Sisters of Providence and Mother Joseph also made. One of my most fond memories from this area was attending the Chinese Lantern Festival in Spokane with my mom. She was ecstatic to be able to share and experience her culture with me. The festival featured artwork and artists from China and took place in Riverfront Park on the Spokane River. Just across this river is a statue of Mother Joseph laying brickwork, the foundation of our ministries here. I like to think that Mother Joseph was watching over my mother and me at the Chinese Lantern Festival, celebrating how the inland Northwest was embracing another's culture. This is what this region represents to me. I believe Eastern Washington and Montana are a place of deep connection, willing to embrace something new, all the while not forgetting our unique identities and heritage. As I reflect on this, a quote from the book, A River Runs Through It, comes to mind. Eventually, all things merge into one, and a river runs through it. The river was cut by the world's great flood and runs over rocks from the basement of time. On some of the rocks are timeless raindrops. Under the rocks are the words, and some of the words are theirs.